When you're first diagnosed, it's really overwhelming. I mean, it's kind of like the Charlie Brown syndrome where you're in the doctor's office and all you're hearing is wah, wah, wah. Luckily, my wife was there and she's saying, no, this is what the doctor's actually saying, because it's an overwhelming discussion that you're having. You fear what you don't know. What I did was I did a lot of reading about what it was all about. Once you start to read more about it, you finally find out that, okay, there's a lot of guys that have it. You understand what you've got, and you then learn how to attack it, and that's kind of the route that I took. You know, it'd been nice to be able to talk to somebody about it also who had been through it. That was probably the step that I was missing the most, was that end of it. But once you get over that initial fear, it's become something you just have to deal with. It's a funny thing about being diagnosed with prostate cancer. Even though I had a medical background, being an ex-Navy corpsman, and my wife is a nurse, I basically knew nothing about it at all. And again, you fear what you don't know until I started to read some books about it and get on the internet and look up some things. The veil of mystery, was removed from it, and you're able to deal with it a lot better. And I think it's one of the really main things guys have to do, is really become their own advocate and learn as much as they can and talk to other guys who have had it also, so they get to share that experience. That really helps you to remove the fear. The most critical decision you can make is to get the proper doctor. You really need to get somebody who is conversant with cancer. Going to just a regular general urologist who just deals in everything but doesn't really know what's going on can really lead to take you down a path that you don't want to go down, because you'll get the wrong treatment, the wrong advice. But when you're dealing with somebody who deals with it all the time, I think that's the most important step you can make. I was very fortunate that I got someone who knew how to treat the aggressive cancer that I had. Again, one of the reasons I'm here talking to you right now, because I did have someone who had that experience and background. Even though as advanced as my prostate cancer was, I didn't opt for a second opinion. I think I was fortunate in choosing the proper doctor who had experience in prostate cancer. He laid out a course of attack that I absolutely embraced. I said, wow, this really makes sense. 5 years later, with a PSA of 0, I made the right choice. My doctor laid out a very aggressive course of action. Both my wife and I wanted the cancer out. I really wasn't worried if there was going to be any damage happening later on. I wanted to be around for my family. I didn't make it a personal decision saying I don't want to have impotence happen, I don't want to have incontinence happening. I want to have cured happen. That's what I was looking for. So when he gave us the plan of action, we said, let's go with that. It was going to be surgery, hormone therapy, and if he wasn't able to get everything, it was going to be following up with radiation. The fruit has been born, and last year 2 of my children were married. I had my first grandson, and again, I think the course of action that I chose with my PSA being 0, it was the right decision. Because my treatment was so aggressive, yes, I did have side effects, both incontinence and impotence. However, both were treated, and I'm very happy with where I am right now. And one of the things I'll accept incontinence, I'll accept impotence. I'm not going to accept incurable. And that's the thing I really wanted to go ahead and avoid, and I have. And I think that that's what really makes you pleased with where you are in life. The fact that you've cured the cancer, you've taken the steps necessary. Again, doctors can fix the other things. You really want to go ahead and just be cured. Prostate cancer is not a one-size-fits-all disease. The treatments are going to vary depending upon your symptoms, the doctor, yada, yada, yada. There's just a lot of choices that you have. And never talk to another guy and say, gee, what did you have done? And say, well, geez, I didn't have that done. Don't worry about that. What your doctor selected for you, if you bought into it, that's what you have. And hopefully it's going to be a good decision that you made. The one thing, however, men just don't talk about it. Even though everybody's treatment is different, men need support. That's one thing we all have in common, that we do need support. Unfortunately, we don't talk about it. Women will constantly, everybody knows of the women who have breast cancer. Guys just don't talk about prostate cancer. And 1 out of 6 men get it, and it is something that just needs to change. I realized that men needed to talk to men about this condition. And I took the experiences that I had in life as a Navy corpsman, as a salesman, and also as somebody who medically had gone through a prostate cancer that was very aggressive and had basically every treatment known to man, that I could utilize this to go ahead and talk to other men. And I also felt that it was kind of a selfish thing, that it just made me feel that, hey, maybe there was a reason why I got this and it helped me to get through it. And it's something I always tell every guy who I talk to. I may be helping you, but I'm honestly getting more out of it than you are. And I think, if guys learn that they can go ahead and support each other that way, it's going to, again, open up the doors to where men will talk about it. And it's really one of my main goals. From my experience, I think the first thing you got to do is remove the fear, and that's done by researching your condition. Again, we fear what we don't know. The more we can learn about it, but again, don't try to get to the doctor level. He's going to know more than you're going to know, but just be comfortable with what he advises you so you'll understand. I think the key thing is understand what he's telling you. Also, make sure you get the best doctor you can get, one who is a cancer specialist. Again, there's a lot of doctors out there, and if they're just generalists and are not a specialist, you're not doing yourself a favor. And again, be cured. That's your goal, is to be cured. Don't worry about any damage. That's something they can always repair. I've had it to where I've met men who thought they were cured. The cancer came back. It is the most devastating thing they can come across. Any damage they could have had as a result of any treatment is far, far less of a problem than the damage they have done by an incurable disease. You only get one shot at this to make it, to make the right decision. There's no reset button you can hit. I read this book about Steve Jobs. He had pancreatic cancer. He decided the smartest guy in the world, one of the richest people, he decided he would go for herbal treatment and get other alternative treatments. 9 months later, he said to his doctor, "Hey, how about that surgery now?" The doctor said, "Sorry, Steve, too late. You don't get the chance to make get a reset at it." Follow up. After you're done your treatments, get a follow-up from your doctor. Don't let it sit there. Even though you might think you're cured, you still need to get testing. And again, PSA testing is the best defense against this disease.